Managing servers and clusters can be a daunting task for developers. It's a world filled with complexities and challenges that extend far beyond writing code. It involves a multitude of tasks, from ensuring uptime and performance, safeguarding against threats, to the regular maintenance and updates that are essential for a smooth run. Not to mention the constant demand for scaling up as your applications grow, and the need for immediate response to traffic surges. It's like a never-ending game of whack-a-mole where you're always on your toes addressing one issue after the other. The resources, both time and money, that go into managing servers can be overwhelming. It's a significant investment that sometimes feels like a detour from the main road, from what developers do best: crafting and optimizing code. The challenges of server management often distract developers from focusing on their core tasks: writing and optimizing code. Enter AWS Lambda, a solution that shifts the focus back to coding. AWS Lambda can be described as the superhero of serverless computing, stepping in to save developers from the often daunting task of managing infrastructure. It's like having an army of efficient workers ready to execute your code at a moment's notice, triggered by events and without needing to consider the complexities of servers or clusters. So how does this work, you might ask? Well, think of AWS Lambda as a highly skilled orchestra conductor. You simply upload your code either as a zip file or container image, and AWS Lambda takes the lead. It automatically assigns computational power, executing your code in response to incoming requests or events, regardless of the volume of traffic. It's like having a personal assistant that not only takes care of your to-do list, but also autonomously handles all the resources needed. What's more, AWS Lambda is incredibly versatile. It can execute code tailored for virtually any application or back-end service. Whether you're designing a unique user experience for a new website or building a complex data processing system, AWS Lambda has got you covered. And the best part? You get to craft Lambda functions in your preferred programming language. Whether you're a Python enthusiast, a Node.js expert, a Go guru, or a Java genius, AWS Lambda is ready to work with you. And with serverless and container tools like AWS SAM or Docker CLI, the process of building, testing, and deploying your functions becomes even more streamlined. In essence, AWS Lambda is about giving you the freedom to focus on what matters most: your code. It's about making your life easier, your work more efficient, and your applications more powerful. With AWS Lambda, developers can execute code effortlessly without worrying about servers or clusters. So, how does AWS Lambda stack up against traditional server-based computing? Well, let's dive into that comparison right away. Traditional server-based computing has been the go-to method for running applications for a long time. However, it comes with its own set of challenges. You have to manage and maintain the servers, consider the costs of idle time, and worry about scaling up or down based on demand. It's a bit like having to build and maintain an entire car just to make a trip to the grocery store. Now imagine if you could just focus on the trip and not the car maintenance. That's where AWS Lambda comes into the picture. First, let's talk about cost savings. With traditional servers, you pay for the server resources whether you're using them or not. So if your app is idle most of the time, you're still paying for that idle time. With AWS Lambda, you only pay for the compute time you consume. There are no charges for idle time, so you're essentially paying only for what you use. Next, let's discuss scalability. In a traditional server setup, you need to manually scale the servers based on the demand. This involves a lot of guesswork and can lead to either over-provisioning or under-provisioning of resources. AWS Lambda, on the other hand, automatically scales your applications in response to incoming traffic. It handles everything from capacity provisioning, patching, server and operating system maintenance to code monitoring and logging. It's like having your own personal pit crew maintaining your race car while you focus on the race. Now let's move on to flexibility. AWS Lambda allows you to run your code in response to events such as changes to data in an Amazon S3 bucket or updates to a DynamoDB table. This means you can set your code to trigger based on specific events, making your applications more responsive and dynamic. Lastly, we can't ignore the ease of use. With traditional servers, setting up the environment can be a tedious task. However, with AWS Lambda, all you need to do is upload your code and it takes care of everything required to run and scale your code with high availability. You can even set up your code to automatically trigger from other AWS services or call it directly from any web or mobile app. In conclusion, AWS Lambda offers a serverless computing environment that eliminates the need for server management, provides cost savings, offers automatic scaling, and gives you the flexibility to run your code in response to events. It's like having your cake and eating it too, but without having to bake it yourself. AWS Lambda clearly offers significant advantages over traditional server-based computing. One of the key strengths of AWS Lambda is its flexibility. Let's delve into this. AWS Lambda supports a variety of popular programming languages. This means you can write your Lambda functions in your preferred language, be it Node.js, Python, Go, Java, or any other supported language. You're not locked into a language that may not be the best fit for your project or that you're not as familiar with. This flexibility extends to your development process as well, allowing you to use serverless and container tools like AWS SAM or Docker CLI. These tools help you build, test, and deploy your functions, making the process more efficient and streamlined. This means you can focus on writing brilliant code and let AWS Lambda handle the infrastructure and deployment. But the flexibility doesn't end there. AWS Lambda also integrates seamlessly with other AWS services. Need to process data in real time using Amazon S3? No problem. Want to connect to an existing Amazon EFS file system for large-scale file processing? Easy. Looking to build serverless backends for various applications and create secure, scalable online experiences? AWS Lambda has got you covered. Not to mention, you can even use AWS Lambda for pre-processing data before feeding it to machine learning models, or to facilitate easy communication between decoupled services. This flexibility makes AWS Lambda a versatile tool in a developer's arsenal, capable of meeting a wide range of needs and requirements. And remember, with AWS Lambda, you're not just running your code, you're running your code in response to events or incoming requests at any scale. Whether you're dealing with a handful of requests or a massive influx of traffic, AWS Lambda scales automatically to meet your needs. The flexibility of AWS Lambda allows developers to tailor their code for virtually any application or backend service. It's not just about making life easier for developers, it's about empowering them to build better, more robust, and more scalable applications. It's time to simplify your development process. Imagine a world where the tedious task of managing servers is a thing of the past. A world where you can focus on writing top-notch code, while the complexities of infrastructure management are handled autonomously. That's the world AWS Lambda invites you into. Think about it. No more worrying about server provisioning or scaling. No more sleepless nights contemplating if your system can handle an influx of traffic. AWS Lambda takes care of all these concerns, handling the computational resources for you, and executing your code in response to events, no matter the volume of traffic. And it's not just about the simplicity and peace of mind. There's a cost-saving aspect too. With AWS Lambda, you only pay for the compute time you consume. There are no charges when your code isn't running. It's a win-win situation, efficiency coupled with cost-effectiveness. But wait, there's more. AWS Lambda is not a one-size-fits-all. It's flexible and customizable. You can craft Lambda functions in your preferred programming language, be it Node.js, Python, Go, Java, you name it. You can even leverage serverless and container tools like AWS SAM or Docker CLI to construct, test, and deploy your functions. It's tailored to suit your needs, your preferences, your comfort. So why not give it a go? Why not step into this world of simplified development, cost-effectiveness, and flexibility? Why not take your coding skills to the next level, unburdened by the complexities of infrastructure management? Take the leap and experience the benefits of serverless computing with AWS Lambda. It's time to focus on what you do best, coding.